So we are done with the basics of Java now. Today we will be starting off with Selenium. Whatever we will be learning from today onwards is completely purely related to Selenium only. It will be purely Selenium code now. But whenever we require something that needs some Java concepts, then we will be switching to those things, right? Now here, the thing is that, say, what needs to be done next? See, we know now that how we can open up a browser, right? How we can fire a browser. Let us just do one thing. Let us just write a very basic code first. So new package, and here the package name is day4. Here in day4, let us just create a new Java class, and here I'll name this as, say, Selenium basics, right? We don't need other classes to be open, so let us just close all the other tabs. So here this is done. Let's have a main method. Now here what needs to be done? First of all, we need to open a browser. So WebDriver driver equals to new Chrome driver. Firefox is also good. Let us just try Firefox. Maybe it works fine now. It used to open faster, but from past 5-6 months, I've been noticing that it opens slowly. Next thing is we need to go to a website. So driver.get. Now, which website you would want to go to? Let us just consider a website. So here the website is, say, rediff.com, right? A very simple website. Let us just copy this URL from here and paste it here directly. So this is the URL. This is where we need to go, right? Our first step is done. Now the next thing is, say, we need to deal with the things here. You can see that there are a lot of things. There are multiple links. There are multiple images. A lot of things on this page. Question comes up, how would we be able to, say, deal with the things on this particular page, right? So let us just do one thing. Let us just get to a very simpler page, then we will be moving on to say um, a bigger page, right? So now the thing is, you can see that this is a URL, mypage.rediff.com. Instead of going to rediff.com, we will be going to this particular page, mypage.rediff.com. Here you can see that there are few things. There is an email ID, there is a password field, right? Now here, how these things happen actually. So whenever there is a web page, actually it sees something like this. We are able to see something like this, but on the backend, it is not something like this. It is a different thing. So right click anywhere on the page, and here go to the option view page source. What is this? Let us just see that. The moment I click on this, you can see that there is a code, a complete pure code. What is this code first? So the code is purely HTML code. Here, the browser understands this HTML code only. So it reads this code, it renders things, and it shows us something like this. So whenever there is some view on the page, this means that there is some code behind it. Now this is the code behind it. Now here, the thing is that we have a lot of things on this particular page. You can see that we have some, say, elements like these, some elements like these. What are these things? These are the HTML elements. These are the HTML tags, right? Now on this page, we can have different kinds of elements, right? We can have different kinds of things on this page that we can have access to, right? So here, what what about this? Say suppose I would need to have access to this particular element or this particular element. Question comes up, how would we be able to have access to an element, right? For that, let us just go to the official website of Selenium. So here, say selenium.dev, and here, to be specific, we will be going to the API docs. So scroll down a bit, go to API docs of Java. Go here, go to all classes, and here look up for something known as web element. We already know about WebDriver. Now we will be dealing with web element. Web element is something that represents an HTML element. Generally, all interesting operations to do with interacting with the page will be performed through this interface, right? What does this mean? This means that to deal with things on the web page, we need to have access to a web element, right? Now it is a HTML element. So question comes up, what are HTML elements and how would we be able to have access to them? So this is the page. You can see that there are a lot of things. There is a HTML tag, there is a head tag, there is a meta tag, there is a title tag, and then meta and meta tags again, right? What are these things? These are the HTML elements, right? So let us just discuss about few things. There are different types of elements on this page. We have the URLs, or you can say that the hyperlinks. We have some text boxes, we have some check boxes, we have some buttons as well, right? So let us just discuss about the things on this particular page. What are these things and how would we be able to deal with different things, right? So here there are different types of elements on the page. So let us do one thing. Let us just create a sheet. Let us just maintain things there so that we can get to know that what is what, right? So let us just create a new sheet. Now here element is represented using a tag name. So here tag. Now whenever there is a tag, there is some information related to it as well. We will notice this in some time. Let us just make the boxes a bit bigger, right? And say that information carried by a tag is attribute, right? And say type. Actually, type should be here. Element type, then here tag, and then say attribute, right? There are different types of elements. The first type of element that we will be dealing with is say links or say text boxes. Let us just first discuss about text box, right? Or say let us just go with link. Link is something that we will be going through a lot actually, right? Link you can say, hyperlink you can say, right? So link slash hyper. Now what is a link or a hyperlink? These are the links: rediff.com, forgot password, Jacqueline Fernandez photos, and a lot of other things on this particular page, right? So here how they are represented on this particular page. Right click on any of the links. Now here click on inspect. The moment you click here, you would be seeing something. You would see that there is some element highlighted here. What is the information written here? A href equals to something, then title equals to something, right? What is this information? This is the tag which represents a link on the page, right? Now it carries some information. What is the link where we would be going to, and what is the text that it has to show on that particular link, right? So here hyperlink is represented by a tag as A. You can see that it is A. The first character on the tag is A, right? So the tag name is A. What is the necessary, or you can say that what is the default attribute that you would need to have, right? So here the thing is that there are some attributes that are mandatory, and that mandatory attribute here is href. So whenever there is a say ampersand tag, sorry, say anchor tag, you would be finding some attribute that is href. What is href actually? So it carries information about the hyperlink, that where we have to go, right? If this is missing, we won't be able to go to any other page. We won't be able to open another link. So this needs to be provided at any cost whenever we have a link, right? So here to qualify as a link needs to have a hyperlink reference attribute, and the tag name should be A. Whenever we have A on a page, this tag on a page, this represents as the say hyperlink. Now if there is any tag on the page, there is an ending tag as well. So you can see that A started at this particular point, it ended at this particular point. In between, we can specify the text that we want to have. I can change this text here. Say hyperlink text, right? I'll hit enter and you can see that it will be changed, right? So here The thing is that you can specify the text. You can see that what is the text here. Right now we won't be changing these texts actually, but the thing is that I just wanted you guys to know that this is the space where we see the things which are visible on the page. Right here you can see that now it is shown as rediff.com. So this is the link. If I click on this particular link, I would be taken to the Rediff home page. Right now this is done. Link is done. Now let us just see some other references for this. What if I want to click on forgot password? So let us just analyze forgot password. Now here right click on forgot password, go to inspect, and you would be taken to some other element. Right here you can see that it is showing us as some, say, span text. On click it is doing something else. So is it a click? Sorry, is it a hyperlink? No, it is not a hyperlink. Right? Let us just do something else. Say, let us just see investors. So here you can see that on forgot password, nothing is shown on the bottom left corner of the screen. Or if I move my cursor over to rediff.com, on the bottom left corner of my screen, you can see that it is written as www.rediff.com. So here you can see that this is the hyperlink. If I move my cursor over here, this is also a hyperlink. This is also a hyperlink, and this is also a hyperlink, right? So here, let us just analyze one of these links. So right click on any of the links, say disclaimer, right click here, go to inspect, and here you can see that a href, then disclaimer, right? You can see that A is an anchor tag, href is a hyperlink reference. So this contains the address of the page that where we have to actually go, right? And the text that should be shown on the link is, say, disclaimer, right? So this is how hyperlinks work. Now what is another say tag type? Now whenever there is a text on the page, it is represented by two things. Either it is a span or either it is a div, right? So there are two things. Say text, it can be represented by span or say div. So there are multiple tags for this thing. We can see that. Is there any mandatory attribute? No, there is no mandatory attribute here. Next thing, say here we need to have access to some kind of a element, and that kind of element is this particular text field. Right click here, let us just inspect it. You can see that text field has a tag name as input, right? So here text field, or say text input, right? It is allowing us to type text inside it. So it has a tag name as input, right? Here, what is the mandatory attribute here? The type equals to text. So this is something that you need to specify here. Otherwise, you won't be able to, say, work with it, right? Now here, any other mandatory information that needs to be specified? Yes, but this is one of the most important things that need to be specified so that we can get to know that whether it is a text input or something else, right? Now, in the same way, we have something else as well. We have a button and a checkbox. Let us just analyze the checkbox. Control Shift C. Here, you can see something. I'm able to highlight elements on the page. What is this? This is an inspector tool, right? So here, this allows us to inspect pages on the page. So inspect things on the page, not pages on the page. Inspect things on the page. Control Shift C. This is the shortcut that allows us to open, say, to analyze the things on the page. You can see that my elements are getting highlighted, and I can click on any element, and it will be taking me to that particular element on this particular screen. Question is, what is this screen called as? This screen is called as developer tools. For Google Chrome, it is developer tools. For other browsers as well, it is also developer tools, right? Here you can see that the tag name is input, but here there is something different. That is, the type is now checkbox instead of in, say, text, right? So here, say, checkbox, tag is input, and type is, say, checkbox, right? This is one of the mandatory attributes just to make sure that the element that we are dealing with is, say, checkbox, right? Here, let us just close this window. Now, what if I just want to open that window but don't do anything else? Control Shift I, right? It opens this particular window. Maybe some website is blocking it, or some developer has specified few things on the page. It has implemented few things on the page that you're not able to see this window with this particular key combination. No issues. There are some other key combinations as well. The second key combination is F12 key. It opens the same window again, right? Maybe this doesn't work as well, but there is one third way which works majority of the times. That is, say, click on these three triple dots, go to more tools, and here you have an option of, say, developer tools. Click here and you will be taken to this particular page. Here on this particular screen, you would be able to see a lot of things. All you need to do is that move to elements tab. Here, these are the elements which are on the page. So page is represented something like this. Here, you can expand the elements, you can close the elements, right? And you can deal with the elements. Here, let us just analyze the elements now. So this window may be looking something different to you. Maybe it opens up something like this to you. Maybe it opens up something like this to you. So no need to worry, no need to panic. The thing is that by default in Google Chrome it comes something like this. In some of the browsers, it comes like this. So you can change the view according to your requirement. Click on these three triple dots and then you can choose the one of the four options. First one is separate window that I usually use. Next one is dock to the left that I don't usually use. Dock to the bottom that I also don't prefer. And the third one is dock to right. I don't prefer these three options, but still I would be using the dock to the bottom option for a while now. Now here you can see that this is on the bottom of the screen. So my screen area is from this point to this point only, right? Here you can see that I'm able to scroll the page now. Now, what if I want to deal with some specific element? Say I want to see the password field. Click here, see, click here. This allows you to inspect the elements. This works as the same shortcut as Control Shift C. Here you can see that I'm able to highlight the elements, right? So here I'll highlight this particular password field. I click here and you can see that this is the element which has been highlighted here. Input is, say, input is the tag name, type equals to password, right? So here, whenever there is a password input, it will be input tag, it will be type equals to password, right? So here this is done. Now we have specified the type equals to password. This is something which is very important for the password fields. Now the next thing is, say, what about this button? What does this button do? If I highlight this, you can see that this is the element. It has the tag name input and it has the type submit, right? So here, now the type is submit, right? What does this mean? This means that this is submitting the data. So here, button is having the tag name input and it has the attribute type equals to, say, password, right? Now, is there anything that a button is represented with? Actually, yes, it can be represented with the tag name as button, right? So in HTML, there are two different ways of representing a button. So here, this is the type, right? Type equals to submit, right? In case of a button, you can specify the type here as well, right? And here you can see that this is done. Now, next thing, we are done with links, we are done with simple text. Let us just analyze the text once. Here you can see that it is represented with one of the more tags as well, that is paragraph tag that I missed out, right? So plain text can be represented with multiple different types of tags. The major ones are div, p and span, but there will be a lot of other things that you may encounter, say, sooner or later, right? So here we got this particular text, we got this URL, we got this text box, we got this password field, we got this button, we got this checkbox as well, right? Anything else on the page? Nothing. But there are some other things as well. What if there is a radio button on the page? So here, radio button, then the tag name is input, and here the attribute is type equals to radio. Everything else is same, right? In the same way, we have drop downs as well. Drop downs are represented by, say, select tag, right? And any mandatory attribute? No, there is no mandatory attribute, but the tag name should be select, right? So here, these are the different types of elements. Now let us just start dealing with the elements. Now this is the page, right? And here on this particular page, I would like to deal with this username and the password field. Question comes up, how would we be able to deal with it, right? So here, to deal with this particular element, we need to know few things about it. Here, right click on this and go to inspect. So this is the element. It has the tag name input, type is text, name is id, autocomplete is off, id is txt login, right? Here, the thing is that we will be using some of the attributes to find the element on the page now. How? Let us just see that. So here, back in our code, now what we will be doing is we will be specifying few things. We will be doing something here to say find the elements and represent the elements on the page. So here, remember something. We have this web element interface, right? This represents a HTML element on the page. So let us just initialize web element. So here web element. Now what is this? This is a username field, right? So here username field variable is created, right? But the thing is that we cannot do new web element here. This is not possible. So here what we will be doing is we will be allocating it a web element, right? Now here, if we go to WebDriver had specified few of the methods. One of the methods is find element. So find element is a method which finds the first web element using the given method, right? This means that this is the method that we have to use. So find element, right? Driver dot find element. Here the thing is that this find element method receives something, that is, it receives data from by class. What is this by class? So by class is something that provides a mechanism to locate the elements within the document. There are different types of mechanisms. We have class name, we have CSS selector by ID. So here we will be using one of the methods here, class name, CSS selector equals, and a lot of other things. Now, one of the methods that we will be dealing with is ID. We will be specifying the ID to locate the element. So here by dot ID, and here this method receives something. What this method receives? This method receives the text, that is the ID of the element. What is the ID of the element? We noticed it just a while ago, right? So here, Control Shift C, and you can see that the ID is txt login. Let us just go back and specify it. So here, at this particular line, we are able to find the element and store it inside a username field variable, right? Now to deal with this element, what needs to be done? Let us just see that. Here, username field dot, we have few things that we can deal with. We can click on the element, we can send data to the element. Let us just specify the data to send. Here I would like to send some information, say 123456789 right? So here let us just try running this code. Run selenium basics.main, and here the text is say the test is executing. Now the code is executing. It will be taking us to that page, and you can see that it has typed the email address. Now here What I want to do is, in the similar fashion, I want to have access to the password field, and I want to click on the go button as well. So here, let us just analyze this password field now. Control Shift C, highlight the element. You can see that the ID is pass underscore box. Copy this. Go back to the code, close this particular browser window. Here, the same lines again. Web element, say password field equals to driver dot find element by, say, by what? ID again. So what is the ID? The ID is this, the one you copied, right? You have found the element. Now here, what needs to be done? We just need to deal with this password field. So password field dot send keys, and I'd like the data I'd like to send, the same data I would like to send again. That is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. Let us just run this code now, and you can see that here it is taking us to this particular page, and here you can see that it has typed the same text inside this box. I did not do anything here myself. It is all done by the code itself, right? So two things are done. What's next? I would like to click on this go button as well. So here, right click here, sorry, close this particular window, right click here, go to inspect, and here this is the button. It has the type submit, but it has no value, it has no ID, right? So this means that we won't be able to deal with this particular element, right? So what needs to be done? So there are some different ways that we will be learning, but not right now. Let us just pick up some other element that we want to deal with. Here, let us just try things on another page. So we will be going to rediff.com, and to be specific, click on sign in page. Here you will be taken to another URL, right? Now, suppose after doing this, I would want to go to another page. There are two different ways now, driver dot get or driver dot navigate dot to, right? I can specify the URL here as well. So both of these things work. It just depends on us, say which method we would want to use. The only difference is that this accepts data from the URL class as well, that we won't be dealing with anyhow anywhere in the projects as well, but still we have two different ways to navigate to the pages. So here, sorry, sorry, just a second, guys. Okay, so here we have this data specified. Now we will be taken to this particular page. Here again, I have the username field and the password field. Let us just try analyzing these things now. Control Shift C, the element is highlighted. Here you can see that the tag name is input again, the type is text. The ID is login1. Let us just copy this ID, right? So here, let us just write a line driver dot find element, right? By, now we have actually other options as well. We have the option of finding the element with its, say, ID. We have the option of finding the element with its name as well. So why don't we try to find the element with its name? We can do that, right? Here the ID is login1, the name is login. Let us just copy this and paste it here, right? Here the element is found. We need to store it somewhere as well. So here, say web element, say user uname field. Why I'm choosing a different name? Because it will not conflict with the upper element, right? So here uname field, say uname field dot send keys, and I can send the data, whatever data I would like to send. But I'll send this particular data, right? In the same way, I can have access to the password field. So let us just analyze this password field as well, and you can see that the name is PASSWD. So here, say web element PW field, and here say equals to driver dot find element by name, and here the name is this. So here we have found the element. Now we just need to deal with the element. So here password field dot send keys and the data I would like to send 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0 once again, right? What about the sign in button? If I see this, you can see that there is some other information specified as well. We have the name here. We don't have the ID, but at least we have the name. The name is proceed. Let us just try clicking on this now. So here, say web element, say submit button equals to driver dot find element by name. What is the name? Proceed. So we have found the element. Now we just need to deal with the element. So submit button dot click. Dealing with the element that needs to be clicked is very easy. Just need to specify the correct command and you're good to go. Let us just try running this code now. And here you can see that we are able to open this first page. We are say it is going very fast. Didn't notice? Let us just do one thing. Let us just specify some weights here so that you guys can analyze things. How we can do add, how we can add up some time weight, right? So here to add up some time weight, what we would be doing is we will be adding up some manual weights, that is thread dot sleep, and we can specify the time here. So I would like to wait for 2.5 seconds before we say move to the next step, right? And here I've specified this line, but there is some red underline. What does this mean? This means that there is some problem. Click on this light bulb. You can see that it is asking us to do one of the two things: either surround it with the try catch block or add exception method, say exception to method signature. What does this mean? This means that we are declaring something that this may throw an interrupted exception, right? Now after every step I will put this line thread.sleep so that you guys can understand what is happening around actually. So here we found the element. Just a second, what happened? This needs not to be specified here. We found the element, we dealt with that element, then we specified the time weight, then we found another element, we specified the time weight, then we moved to another page, then we specified the time weight, we found the element, we dealt with the element, then time weight. The same way here as well. Let us just run this code now. So after every action, it will be waiting for 2.5 seconds. And here you can see that first step done, second step in 2.5 seconds, third step in 2.5 seconds, it will be taking to another page, then typing username, then typing password, and then clicking on sign in button. The moment it clicks on sign in button, it gives us a warning, temporary issue, please try again later. So here the thing is that the things are working absolutely fine. We are actually able to find the elements on the page, and we are actually able to deal with those elements on the page as well, right? This was about Rediff Mail. What about things on some other website? Let us just try that as well. What website? Let us just consider some website that you guys usually use. Facebook.com, right? Here on this particular page, you can see that there is an email field and there is a password field, right? So let us just analyze this page. Control Shift C, it will be opening up the say window as well, plus it will take us to that inspector mode directly. Click here, you can see that there is a tag name as input, type is text, and name is email, id is email. Let us just try retrieving this element with the help of its ID, right? So here, right click, new Java class. Class name is say Facebook example, right? And here we will be having main method. I'd like to have browser initialize, so driver equals to new Chrome driver. I would like to go with Chrome driver now. So here driver dot get say https www dot facebook.com, right? So here it is done. Now the next thing is, after getting to this particular page, now what needs to be done? We need to find the element. So here web element say username equals to driver dot find element by name, right? And what is the name? The name is email. Is it the same thing? Yes, you can see that the name is email and ID is also email. I found the element with the help of name. Right now we will be dealing with the say password field as well. So here we can do this as well. I can retrieve the elements first, then I can deal with those elements as well. So here password equals to driver dot find element by what? Let us just see that. So we need to analyze this password field. Click here on this particular button, then move your cursor over to the password field. Click here and you can see that you would be taken to this particular element on the bottom. It has the name pass, ID equals to pass as well. So here by ID is pass. Done. Both of these elements are retrieved. Now we can deal with these elements. So username dot send keys. What data I would like to send? The same plain old data, right? Password dot send keys. What data I'd like to send? The same plain old data, right? I'm done with username and the password field. What about the login button? Control Shift C. Move your cursor over to the login button, and here you can see that now it is not an input tag. It is a button tag. It has the name here, so we will be using this element with its name, right? Copy this and here say try to find the element. So web element say button equals to say driver dot find element by name equals to this. So we have found the element with its name. Now here the thing is we need to click on it. So here say submit dot click. Done. Let us just try running this part of code now. So run facebook.main. Here it will be taking us to that particular browser. Chrome is opening up. Facebook.com is opening and you can see that it has tried to type in the username and the password, and now it is actually trying to log us in. It will run for a few more seconds and then the page will stop, or it may be taking us to some other page where it will be telling us that we have tried to put in wrong username and the password, right? So here this is done. This is what we wanted to do, and you can see that it has taken us to some other page where it is asking us for the login to Facebook again. The phone number you have entered is does not match any account, right? So here it is actually trying to find the user with the help of phone number as well, right? So this is done, and say this is how we try to find the elements on the page, right? There are some different ways as well. For example, right now we consider that say name and ID are the unique say things that allow us to find the element on the page. Question comes up, what if there are two elements with the same ID on the page? Then what will happen, right? This is one of the major questions. So I want you guys to try finding something about it. We will be discussing about it in the next lecture. Next thing, say what I want you guys to do is say I want you guys to do something. Try to log in into Facebook. Then you will be taken to this particular page, right? And here, once you have logged in, you will be taken to this particular page. Click on your name here or here. anywhere, click on your name with the help of code, go to this particular page, then here click on friends and try searching for your friend name. For example, I would like to search for Vinay, right? So there may be multiple Vinays, there may be one single Vinay. I want you guys to try say doing this. Okay, Gaurav. So I want you guys to see that how many results you're getting here. After typing in the name, whether you guys are getting some results or not, right? So try doing this. What is this procedure? Try logging in. You will be taken to this home page. Then go to your user profile, then friends, then search for a friend. Right? Now we're done with a lot of things today. How Selenium works on page source, analyzing page source. We have not analyzed page in Mozilla Firefox, but yes, we have analyzed page in Google Chrome. I'll just discuss about it in the Mozilla as well. The things are completely same. The only difference is the browser name, right? We have discussed about ID and name attributes. We have not discussed about class attribute. This is something that we will be discussing in the next lecture, right? And we have made a very basic Selenium script. So these things are done. Now, I want you guys to try finding this yourself. What will happen if two elements have the same ID, right? Plus this exercise, that is on your Facebook account, you need to try finding some of your friends here, right? This was for today's lecture. If you have any queries, you can feel free to ask.